Today, I'm going to review of movie Contagion. Released in 2011, this American thriller film revolves around a fictional virus that becomes a global pandemic, and people are experiencing it in the worst way possible, whereas doctors are trying to find a cure. Will they succeed? Well, let's find out in this review. Contagion.
Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more videos like this one.
This film is a collaboration of Scott Z. Burns, the screenwriter, and the director Steve Soderbergh. Both of them also worked in other two films, and interestingly enough, all this one, including those two, also have Matt Damon in the lead cast. So
Now the main inspiration of this film, of course, comes from the SARS pandemic around 2003 and the flu outbreak in 2009, which I guess happened in America or something. I don't know. I haven't researched that much. Now, as for the camera work and cinematography of the film overall, they have done a very impressive job of emphasizing on the touch, meaning every single scene, area, thing, or person which is being touched, which shows how the virus is spreading and how many of those people that are being depicted there can be infected.
now this film is also referred as a hyperlink multi-narrative film, meaning it revolves around a few side stories or side characters. I mean, okay, to give you a basic sense, it has a few side stories. Let's suppose four or three maximum, or maybe more, some maybe different, and each of them rotates to one plot to another while the film plot is progressing. So that's the only thing I can come, because this is the first time I have heard this and I've seen a film like that. So that's how I can come up with.
So, in terms of acting, though, everyone has done at least a good job. Matt Damon is doing his best as a local resident who is unaware of this total but is trying to survive with his family. Lawrence Fishburne, on the other hand, is a very good scientist along with others, and similarly, Kate Winslet, good Paltrow to some extent, and another medical retard, and then the other actors included.
Now, anyway, the film on the other hand is very interesting to say the least, and I'm going to mention the plot here. So if you want to skip the spoilers up ahead, go ahead, watch the end. I mean, I mentioned it in the description down below. Otherwise, this is a film review, so don't bitch about it. Anyway, let's start with the plot.
One, there were 2 people, and then 4, and then 16. In 3 months, it's 1 billion. That's where we're headed.
They're calling out the National Guard. They're moving the president underground. People will panic.
Get away!
It will tip over.
The truth is being kept from the world.
Cook your samples, destroy everything.
And also, every single scene element in it is under fair use. So don't fuck up. Okay, what am I doing this?
Now, the film begins with our first plot device, Beth Emhoff, portrayed by Gwyneth Paltrow, at a Chicago airport where she is talking to someone on the phone while waiting for her flight to come. So, she is also shown to be ill with slight fever and coughing at times. In the title sequence, we are shown some other people with similar symptoms in Hong Kong, England, and Japan. All of them are becoming violently ill in the span of 2 to 4 days and passing away. Well, maybe except for the one guy, he gets into an accident. It's a Hong Kong guy. Told you I was telling out all the spoilers here, so don't come up to me again. And yeah, the video might be a bit out of order, but hey, enjoy. You're gonna love it. Meanwhile, back at Minneapolis,
Come on, buddy.
Beth is starting to feel intense weakness all of a sudden, blurry vision, and not long after she collapses on the floor and gets multiple seizures. Her
Beth, Jesus, sweetheart. Hey, Beth.
I wonder if Goop accidentally flopped and she's not taking it too kindly. Named Mitch Emhoff
Unfortunately,
rushes her
she
to the
did
hospital
die.
where he is informed of her sudden death.
I'm sorry, Mr. Emma.
I know this is hard to accept.
Okay. Lisa, can I go talk to her?
Mr. Emma, I'm sorry. Your wife is dead.
Hello? Hang up the phone and call 911 right now. Right now, 911.
Before he could even get a hold of the events, he is then later informed by his daughter Jodie that his Clark has also passed away. It's already, and we have already seen some depressing scenario. I wonder what's going to happen next. Well, the second plot revolves around Geneva, Switzerland, where in World Health Organization headquarters, a few officials are holding a meeting where they are discussing the recent deaths that took all over the world, including those we are shown in the beginning of the film. Now, they believe that there could be some sort of a hidden virus spreading all over the world and that could become a pandemic. Eventually, though, they send their epidemiologist, Dr. Leonora Arantes, portrayed by Marion Cotillard, to investigate the case in China, alongside with the government officials Sun Feng and after she receives information about Beth being the possible progenitor of the infections rising in America, she heads to Hong Kong to investigate the case and how this virus could have been spread. Eventually, she learns that Beth visited a casino in Macau where she probably contracted the disease and eventually spread all over to potential other guests that we saw in the other film through video footage and tapes. But before she could return and inform the WHO, Sun Feng kidnaps her and uses her as a leverage to get a vaccine, meaning she is held hostage for a while. So that's going to be her part for now. Anyway, as Mitch is being held in quarantine, we are now introduced to the overarching plot. That is the CDC trying to find a cure for this vaccine in America. Dr. Alice Cheever, the head doctor, which is portrayed by none other than Lawrence Fishburne of the Matrix fame, is overseeing this entire things from how the virus is working with his subordinate Dr. Ali Hexel, collaborating with the San Francisco research analyst or doctor. Yeah, doctor, corrected there. Dr. Ian Sussman, of what the virus is and if they're investigating it all. Sussman himself, I'll get to the guy in a moment. I mean, with the growing cases all over the America, especially in Minneapolis and Chicago, he then sends his best doctor, an epidemic research officer by the name of Dr. Aaron Mears, portrayed by none other than Rose. I mean, Kate Winslett. You know, I like Titanic. No, I watched Titanic, but I remember her for that. I mean, anyway. So as she lands onto the Minneapolis, the scene of to investigate the cause, to investigate Beth's case and how it could have spread all over, she eventually finds one of her co-workers infected, already in the worship, and managing to secure him on time. During this time, she's also discussing with the city officials of the state officials, I guess, as well as with Mitch in regarding to finding out if she interacted with anyone else. Not long after that, she also gets infected and she has to quarantine herself in a hotel room where she is staying while also trying to get information of if anyone else used this area as well. She eventually informs Lawrence Fishburne about this and he does get a bit depressed about this point. Well, and soon, sometime later, Mitch is also released and he then starts to I don't know what to put here. What I'm going to say is that Mitch comes to a whole new different world, not a normal but an insane chaotic world after this one. Other than that, we're talking about Alice Cheever is also dealing with the Homeland Security members, where one of them is Rear Admiral Haggerty, portrayed by Bryan Cranston.
They're going back and forth to ask if this is a weapon or attack on U.S. economy or something because, well, this is a Hollywood film and you know exactly what I'm talking about. Other than that, we now go to our fourth interesting plot and a character that I personally love this film for. Jude Law's Alan Crumvier. Alan is an anti-government conspiracy theorist who is also a journalist, freelancing one to be exact. His arc in the film is to assure people that the government is up to no good while also promoting a miracle drug for Scythia that can cure the MERS V1 virus. As his popularity increases day by day, gaining up to about 1 million unique followers. And Cheever also finds out about him eventually. Now, his character is really interesting because you can actually see a sort of similar people in real life. What I mean by that is simple. So Crumvier is sort of a villain depicted here, but in reality he might not be wrong. I mean, maybe in some future video I'll get to his arc a little bit, but what he basically is trying to convey in this film is that the government and the big pharma companies involved are up to no good. I mean, there is an intention of curing the patient, but it's only that benefits them. I mean, he's not exactly wrong either. So meanwhile, as he is trying to gain a lot more unique followers, he decides to fake being ill while promoting a homeopathic drug called Forsythia, as I mentioned previously earlier. This in turn causes a lot more deaths than anticipated, and people go nuts all over this thing, believing anything at this point to find a cure. The whole area becomes chaotic, and of course, a whole lockdown takes place are announced all over America and possibly the entire world. There are some actually cool shots where where you are shown some empty spaces, if you can see in the corner of the screen right now. I mean, they are probably popping it up here and there. But back to the point was, now then CDC on the other hand are trying to find a way. They're researching, they're working hard to make a cure out of this one, and during this time, of course, Sussman is ordered to destroy all of the work he has done, but he does not. Instead, he continues to work on, sends his fighting to the CDC, where he's eventually requested to be the part of their team for finding a cure. As time passes, though, they do make some experimental vaccines and among other things. So Allie, the doctor who I mentioned earlier, decides to use one and visits her own dead father. So she's basically risking her own life to find a cure. Eventually, she doesn't pass away, and this experimental is given a green light to go ahead. As other companies begin to manufacture the vaccine for the remaining people. At the end of the film, it's revealed that about 26 million worldwide have been passed away and 20 million alone in America. Alan later gets arrested and, well, he's eventually released later on because the government is like, yeah, we've already got a handful of things to do, and you know what, we'll keep an eye on you. And Alan's like, no, you won't. As he continues on doing his own thing because, yeah, nothing's gonna happen to him. Mitch, on the other hand, is relieved to have a cure, although his daughter Jory is also kind of anxious to be returned to normal life, I guess. Well, finally, WHO manages to retrieve Lenora, as her part ends in a cliffhanger sort of a way. I mean, she is first retrieved from the Sunfang's village, but the official then reveals that they did not give her the people vaccines but were placebos. She eventually rushes back to warn them, but we never know what happened to her at the end. Midge, on the other hand, is looking at a digital camera, reminiscing about her wife and her child one more time, as her daughter is sitting alone waiting for her boyfriend while his father has set up a mini prom night. Thus, the film comes to an end,
but with an unusual teaser as well. Now we're shown that there's a bat eating a fruit piece, a banana, I guess. He flies into a pigsty where the piece of the banana falls off from its mouth and it's eaten up by a pig. The virus gets transferred to a pig. The pig is sold to a random chef in the Macau hotel casino where Beth and others were taken. So the chef goes up to meet Beth while also cutting the exact same pig without washing any hands, shakes it off. Thus, day one begins right there. And that was a spoiler territory. If you have watched this, I am not sorry, boy. I told you so. But if you have, well, hey, I hope you liked it. So, let's talk about the overall story and how do I feel about it. Now, in terms of how similar to it is into the real life coronavirus stuff, there's up to debate. I mean, there's a lot of things that have been dramatized, but the way it has started does feel similar. I mean, it started from China and spread all over the world. I mean, that's the only things so far that makes sense. Even though there's now different theories that could be a man-made and there could be another thing. There are several different things in the internet right now online, but right now people are trying to survive. And well, the film does a very good job of conveying its story. There are some really good character arcs here, which I believe it's a strong point of the film, and among other things. So, if you like this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and hopefully, I'll see you in the next review soon. Until then, thank you for watching.